I strongly believe that there should be a dark mode for every single website and app out there, but unfortunately, so many of them do not. I mean, even Gmail doesn't have a dark mode. So when I am on the web, I use something called Dark Reader, which is a Chrome extension. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I use Dark Reader. Hi everyone, welcome to Carrie on Accessibility, where we talk about technology and accessibility. For me and a lot of other people, dark mode is not just a preference, but it is an accessibility need. White or light colored backgrounds can cause a lot of glare and eye strain. It's just really bright and it kind of feels like you're just staring at a really bright light or even the sun. Having light colored text on a dark background is also a lot easier to read because of the contrast. As I mentioned, I use Dark Reader on Chrome, but it is available on other web browsers as well. Just go to darkreader.org to find out more. It's a really great extension, even though it's not always perfect. Let me go ahead and share my screen and show you guys Dark Reader. So here we go, this is Chrome and I have a Gmail open and there's no dark mode in Gmail, but there is a dark theme. So we see the email list right here is in a dark theme, white text on a dark background, but over here with the actual message, it's all in white. So I'm going to go here to my extensions and I'm going to turn on Dark Reader. Now this makes everything dark. So even the message here at the right side is now also dark. Another thing I want to draw your attention to is the compose button. It used to have a white background and now it has a dark background. So how do we get Dark Reader? You can just look for Dark Reader Chrome extension. It should be the first one here. It says Dark Reader. You can just click on the blue button. This right here says remove from Chrome for me because I already have it installed, but it should say add to Chrome if you don't have Dark Reader installed yet. From there, it will show up here with your other extensions. If it does not show up here, you can click on the little puzzle icon, which is for extensions, and then here on this list, you can find Dark Reader and make sure it is pinned. That will ensure that it's always in this area right up here with all your other extensions. So if you click on it, let's look at the different options. We have off and on, that's very self-explanatory. You can turn it off for particular websites. So if I turn it off, if I go to another website, Dark Reader will still be on, but for this particular website, it will stay off. That can be helpful if a website already has a dark mode and you're happy with that dark mode. You can just turn off Dark Reader for just that website. Down here we have dark or light. If you did want things in light mode, you could select that, but I'm going to stay with dark mode. You can control the brightness. So I'm going to zoom out and decrease this brightness here. And then you can also increase or decrease the contrast. Below contrast, we have sepia. We can add a kind of brownish yellowish tint. But I'm going to go ahead and just turn that off. Below sepia, there is a grayscale slider here. We can try to change things so maybe for less color. It kind of reminds me of less saturation in a way. Below grayscale, we have a button here that says only for mail.google.com. That will show whatever URL or web page you're on, and if you click on that, it will only adjust for this web page. So let's say you run across a web page that's brighter than usual and you want to kind of dim it down. You can do that just for that web page. If we go back up, here we have the filters tab and the next one is site list. So these are all the different websites that you have modified or that you have specific settings for. The next one is the more tab. Here we have some other controls. You can try to change the font on websites. You can adjust the text stroke or how bold text is. For me, I can't really tell much of a difference, but this is definitely still something that you can try out for yourself. The next is a group of 4 buttons. The first one is dynamic, then filter, filter plus, and static. So with these, you can change the type of dark mode. I usually stick to dynamic. It usually does a good job of trying to convert everything to dark mode. Sometimes it does not though. So that's when you can play with the filter. So that's definitely not good. Filter plus. Filter and filter plus are usually very similar, or we can go to static. Here we go. In this case, I'm just going to stick with dynamic. You can also just have these options apply to this website if you click this button that says only for and then the URL. Dark Reader is great. It works with docs, though again, like I mentioned before, it is not perfect. Here, everything looks in order. However, if I go and I try to change the font color on this document, let's try to do that now. We have a color palette that's just not right. So if I pick cyan right here, it's not going to be the same color. If I pick this very dark pink right there, it's actually going to be a very light pink over here. So that can be a little confusing. There are going to be some web pages that no matter what you do, it just will not cooperate. For example, tpgi.com, this is supposed to be an accessibility web page, but they don't have a dark mode. I'm going to turn off Dark Reader. Here we go. And so it kind of is one of those websites that frustratingly go back and forth a lot of the time with their color. And we can go ahead and try out some of these filters. So let's turn it back on. Right now it's on dynamic. So let's try filter. That did not really help. So we'll try filter plus. That also doesn't do much. So now we're going to try static. So that one is probably the best one out of the bunch. However, it does take away some of the colors and the borders and things like that. So there's some compromise here. You can of course go back to the settings and try to maybe adjust the brightness and maybe adjust the contrast, and maybe that could help a little. But ultimately, like I said, Dark Reader is not perfect, and it's not really Dark Reader's fault. I think that a native dark mode is usually the best course of action, and that usually provides the best experience. The last thing that I'm going to show is how to get to settings, and you can actually assign hotkeys for this. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to click on Dark Reader. We're going to go back to the More tab, and at the bottom here there is a button for all settings. Once we click on that, we're going to go zoom in here on the left side, and we're going to go to hotkeys. From here we can adjust turning on Dark Reader. I have it set to Alt-Shift-D. That turns Dark Reader on and off everywhere, and then Alt-Shift-F turns it on and off for a specific website, and you can change this to anything you want. Once you click on it, it will take you to actually the Chrome settings, and then you will need to scroll down to Dark Reader, and here you can change those settings. You can also go straight to the Chrome extension settings, but I usually find it easier to just go through the Dark Reader settings. There you go, that's how I use Dark Reader. Again, it is just a really great app that I use every day whenever I am on Chrome using my computer, which is every day. Sometimes, again, like I said, it's not perfect. Sometimes it will not change the color of an icon, and so sometimes there will be like a dark colored icon on a dark background. but most of the time it works really well. If you use dark mode as an accessibility feature, I highly recommend Dark Reader. Let me know if you try it out, or if you've been using this for a while, or if you're using a different extension. Side note, there is a Chrome flag, which is basically beta features of Chrome that they're kind of working on, that is for dark mode, but Dark Reader is still a lot better than that. Anyway, that's it for now. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up below. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you'd like to support the channel and what I do here, consider becoming a YouTube or Patreon member, or even just sharing this video with a friend. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.